Hey guys, how's it going? Today in this controversial video, I'm going to share with you the ugly side of marketing that you might not want to hear, but I think it's important to hear. So let's dive into this. Hey guys, what's going on? Yuri came here, founder and CEO of Healthpreneur. And today I want to walk you through the ugly side of marketing, which is true. This is the truth, and it's a reflection. This has actually been inspired by a reflection of what's happening right now in Canada. So whenever you're watching this, this may have passed or not, I don't know. Right now in Canada, as I'm shooting this, there is a trucker convoy that has sparked a huge controversy and inspiration across the entire country. 50,000 trucks went into the capital, Ottawa, to basically oppose the mandates and all the nonsense that's been happening for the past 2 years. And I'm 1,000% behind them. Just in case you're wondering, I am 1,000% around or behind freedom of choice. And all the stuff that's been happening in Canada and across the world over the past 2 years is outrageous, to say the least. So that's my point of view on that. But here's the thing, as devious as a lot of these tactics have been over the past 2 years, there's a lot of beauty in I don't know if it's beauty is the right word, but there's a lot to learn from the tactics that have been deployed. And because what's been happening over the past 2 years, and the first thing I want you to understand, okay, number one lesson here, and when I say lessons from a dictator, I'm literally referring to Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, who has just completely gone off the rails with respect to how he's managing our country and this situation. There's no leadership. It's just ridiculous. But the thing to understand is that marketing is propaganda. Marketing is indoctrination. That's the first most important thing you have to understand. And if you think back, again, I don't think most of us are around for the Second World War, but in the Second World War, what they did not have was social media. So how did the Nazis, the Nazi Party, disseminate propaganda? Well, a big piece of it was through the social arts. And I remember reading a book on this when I lived in France. It was, I think it was called, well, it was a French book, but it was about the covert cultural propaganda of the Nazi Party in World War II. And essentially what they did is they used plays, they used posters throughout the cities, they used books, they used magazines, they used whatever media they had at the time. At the time, most predominantly was obviously radio. And so they used those main sources of informing the public with whatever agenda they wanted to push. All right. They also did that with, planes flying over, dropping flyers over the cities. And, at the time, there was no social media. So that was the way they were able to disseminate that message. And it literally is propaganda. But it's the thing with marketing, and this is the second lesson you have to understand, is that marketing is about helping people see the world the way you want them to see the world. Let me repeat that. Marketing, and I've said this before, is more about sharing your beliefs than what you know. And it's about helping people see the world or a topic in the same way you want them to see the world. Now, that I think is amazing if the intentions behind what you're sharing or what you want people to believe is good. But it can also be very dangerous, as is shown right now, because what's happening is that the way the media, which is now obviously owned by the Liberal Party, they've subsidized the media in Canada with $600 million. They basically pay for their salaries, okay? So the way the media portrays what's happening in Ottawa with the trucker convoys, the whole freedom movement, is positioning anyone who opposes the agenda of the dictator at the top as criminal. And what happens is that when the majority of people across the country are watching that form of information, now they're buying that narrative. Meanwhile, what they don't know about is the millions of people and followers of various people who are watching things on TikTok or Twitter or listening to Joe Rogan, who are sharing a very different message, which is the truth of what's happening in the various situations. This is very problematic. And for years we've thought about this stuff as, China, censorship for sure. North Korea, that's the way it happens over there. But this is happening in our country right now. And this is nothing more than marketing, right? Because marketing is essentially the dissemination of a narrative that you want your followers to buy into. Now, obviously in our world, in your worlds, the beautiful message is you want people to buy into the fact that eating healthy is good, right? Eating plant-based is better. Like whatever your point of view is, you're trying to get them to buy into that narrative. Now, you don't own the media, right? So that's obviously a little bit of it would certainly help if you own the media, because then you could do what Facebook is doing. You could shut down any voices that oppose yours. Now, I'm not saying that's a good idea to do, but I'm saying this is what's happening. And this is why it's so powerful and relatively easy at the highest levels to propagate a message and get your marketing out to the masses if you control the medium on which that information is shared. As an example, and I don't know if this is true, but in the 1940s, if the Nazi Party owned every printing shop in Germany, then they would control everything that was printed. Now, whether they controlled it by force or by consensus, I don't know. But I don't even know if that was the situation. But when you control the very medium on which information is shared, all of a sudden you can change the whole narrative into whatever you want it to be and not show any alternative to what that narrative is. Now, I'm not giving you a lesson on how to create a dictatorial movement here, okay? That's not what this is. But there are lessons from what's happening that we can apply in a very good-hearted, good-spirited way, but understanding why this stuff is so powerful. The third lesson is that money amplifies the message. You guys have heard me talk a million times about the power of advertising, learning how to leverage paid ads, because if you don't, then no one's going to see your stuff unless you have a huge platform already. So if you don't know how to get your message in front of more people, then no one's going to know about your thing, right? Which is really what's happening right now. If the government owns the media, and they paid $600 million to basically subsidize them, and they can run ads from the government of Canada on television to get boosted, vaccinated for the 17th time or whatever it is, they control and they can amplify the message. Versus someone who, like yourself or myself, who doesn't have that level of clout and power, are not able to get our message, which might be completely different, into the houses or into the hands of the millions of people who may need to hear it. So what does this mean for your business? For your business, this means that the more you can understand, number one, what your message is. What is the narrative that you want your audience to buy into? Now, remember, we're not condemning other people. We're not censoring other people. We're just trying to be very clear about what is our platform. What do we believe about this specific topic around health, fitness, wellness? And we want to continue sharing that message so that more and more people who buy into your message and your way of seeing the world are now wanting to be part of your tribe. Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything. And if you stand for nothing, then how are people supposed to follow you? Because they don't even know what you stand for. So you have to take a stand. You have to draw a line in the sand. And is that going to inflame a few people? Is that going to irritate a few people? Is that going to maybe get some hate? For sure, right? But what's the alternative? Plain vanilla, right? No one likes vanilla. I mean, some people do, but most people like vanilla with chocolate sauce on top. So in marketing, it's super, super important to take a stand. And we see this in politics, right? You're either on this side or on this side, right? That's taking a stand. And most politics is marketing. I think this is where marketing gets a little bit of a bad rap, is that, when we're having a conversation like this, it's like, well, marketing is evil. Well, marketing isn't evil. We're all marketing. We're all sharing our points of view. But what is evil are some of the people and how they deploy it. Because there are very, very good leaders. There are very inspirational leaders in the world. And they're using marketing in the same fashion without all the censorship and devious nonsense, but they're simply amplifying their message to more people. And hopefully it's an inspiring message that helps a lot of people. So the recap of the 3 lessons here about marketing, the ugly side of marketing, which is also the beautiful side of marketing if it's used with the right intention, is number 1 is that marketing is propaganda. Okay. Propaganda doesn't necessarily have to be bad. Propaganda can be good if it has a good intention and it's going to help people's lives. Number two is that you want people to see the world. You want people to see the world, your topic area, the way you want them to see it. And if they don't agree with that, they can go somewhere else. And that's totally fine. And number three is that money will amplify your message. Money will help you reach more people. Because if you don't use money, you have to use like brute force, sweat equity, hustle and grind. And that certainly can be done. It just takes a lot longer and it's not as sustainable. So anyways, I just wanted to share some thoughts with you about this because obviously it's top of mind. It's something that's really, really been irritating me over the past few weeks, obviously as a Canadian. And, it doesn't matter where you live. If you're a citizen of the world, this is something that is going to revolutionize a lot of things on this planet. And I think it's all for the good, even though it's kind of crazy at the moment. Anyways, love to know your thoughts in the comments below. I know this is a little bit of a different tone of a video. I typically don't speak about this stuff, but listen, like you got to address the elephant in the room, and there's a lot of nonsense happening. And marketing can be used for evil as it is being used for right now. But here's the good thing too, is that when you look at platforms like Twitter, when you look at platforms like TikTok, where you can actually speak the truth and not get shadow banned. All right, cool, right? Speak your truth, share your truth. These are platforms that are allowing us to continually get the message out. Facebook, Instagram, you say anything that's different to the narrative, you're basically being shut down. And that's unfortunate, but listen, humans are adaptive. We find ways to get to the truth, and the good news is that the truth will always surface. So even though marketing can be used in devious ways, companies and individuals who decide to use that will be found out. And the good people like yourself, spreading the good word over time, either manually or through amplification, through ads or etc., the truth will rise to the top, right? The cream rises to the top and the truth will always surface. So all you have to know is that if you're doing good work, if you're spreading the good word, if in your heart you know that you're helping people, never ever feel bad about screaming that from the rooftops, because people need to know you exist. They need to know that you can help them. And if they don't hear from you, they're not going to know you. They don't even know you exist, right? It's not the best product that wins. It's the best known product that wins. So shout from the rooftops, share your message, keep on marketing, do your thing, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Ciao, guys.